Right, it's over. It's over for Star Trek, or at least the Kelvin timeline. So the Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto new Trek, the J.J. Abrams new Trek, is done. It is done. It was hidden in this piece by Variety, this article here, where they basically are discussing David Ellison and his purchase of Paramount, right? And his focus. What he's looking to do with the brand and things like this. And hidden in it is a little bit of franchise sort of projections. What's he going to do with what franchise and all of that. And I think it's interesting. So it's worthwhile taking a look at. This is one of those things that was massive. Skydance merging / buying Paramount was huge. And now they're trying to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, which is, again, equally as big. I've done videos on it saying that Hollywood will never be the same again. I mean, Hollywood won't be the same again now, And for one of the reasons that they're focusing on here, as they say here, forging ties with Trump. Now, that's pretty abnormal in the world of Hollywood. No matter what side of the political spectrum you sit on, that's abnormal. Right? For an openly right-wing studio head owner to be like, yeah, I'm right-wing. I'm breaking from the status quo. Now, if you hate what modern Hollywood has become, maybe a break from the status quo is good. Kind of depends where you sit, I guess. But anyway, let's take a look. Hit subscribe if you're new here and you enjoy videos like this. But anyway, there's a lot in here. There's a hell of a lot in here. As they say from the off, Paramount chief builds a Hollywood juggernaut that could soon swallow Warner Brothers Discovery whole. That is interesting. The fact that they're trying to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, that'll reshape Hollywood forever. Sources say that President Donald Trump has greenlit plans to host one of the first UFC fights under Paramount's $7.7 billion deal with the MMA league on the lawn of the White House. I mean, what? They're going to do an MMA fight on the lawn of the White House? That's cool. What a cool backdrop. Some people would say that as it's sacred ground. It's not sacred ground. It's a White House, mate. It's not sacred ground. You can say it's disrespectful. It's not sacred ground, though. Hallowed ground. It's not. It is not a religion. Anyway, so that's all interesting, right? This stuff is actually quite a surprise. I didn't know that, and I wouldn't have known that unless I'd looked at this article. But then we scroll through it, and we start to get to some stuff here. What is that going to be? Why are they doing that? Well, Anna Kelly says it'll be a spectacular event celebrating 250th anniversary of our great country. Variety denigrates it. Sounds like it might be out of idiocracy. All this kind of stuff. I think it's quite interesting. I'd say, why not? There's plenty of reasons why you would host the UFC fight on the White House. There's plenty of reasons why you wouldn't. I'm in the camp. Who cares? Why not? Let's do it. But we'll shuffle on. And, he literally says, we're going after Warner's. Fascinating that he just comes out and admits it. He apparently told confidants. And that was even before the Paramount deal. Before the Paramount merger got approved. He was happy. He said, I want to be in the top 3, not the bottom 3. So they're really focused on that top tier content. Which is mad. I mean, it's pretty interesting. Anyway, we'll trundle on through this. So there's an old producer from Sony and says, it's the Wild West and these are the new cowboys. And that's John Peters. Says he's taken a 400 million plus stake, roughly 4% in Paramount since it began trading on the NASDAQ as PSKY. Things have changed. And now we're moving into the biggest revolution that you and I will see in our life, which is AI. Big push for AI, annoying. But anyway, what else do they say? So Paramount and Skydance have said they're going to embrace AI. I've covered that before. And then they say this, studios are irrelevant, they're on the ropes, they're dinosaurs, and the age of dinosaurs is over. And that's Shoiler Schuler Moore, a partner at Greenberg Glusker. Their only move now is to consolidate, but there's no hope even if they get bigger. They're too late to the party. Makes sense. I mean, Hollywood's dying. So not according to David Ellison, who projects an image of Paramount as a land of abundance. He wants more content, not less. I say, well, what's he going to focus on? And that's what one source says with direct knowledge of his thinking. So the proof is in the mad dashes film chiefs are making to build their slate from its current 8 annual releases to 15 by 2026, 17 by 2027, and 18 movie releases a year. That's mad. That's what they want to get to in 2028. So Cindy Holland, who helped Netflix develop its original programming strategy, is now running Paramount's direct-to-consumer operation. Is opening the purse to bring better programming to Paramount Plus, which is interesting. There's a little bit here where they talk about Paramount buying Warner Brothers. It's a disaster for writers, for consumers, for competition. That was the WGA. But here's the really interesting stuff. Here's the interesting stuff, I think, anyway. And they talk a whole bunch about bloody Palestine and Gaza, or Israel and Gaza, Palestine, whatever the fucking places. I don't care about it. I'm not interested in that. So, but then we move down through here, and you're like, oh, okay. So, what is their focus? What is it that they're looking to do? It's, again, huge article. They talk about, despite the disagreements over strategy, there's a shared sense of urgency around the need to fundamentally transform Paramount, as the new executive leadership recognises it must move fast to pull off its grand plans. In addition to signing talent deals with Smith and Matt and Ross Duffer, the Duffer brothers, behind Stranger Things, the team is trying to assemble a slate of films that can attract audiences to theatres at a time when the box office is in a slump. Ellison personally courted a complete unknown's James Mangold and is shelling out up to $100 million to produce Highside, a motocross thriller that will be the director's next film with Timothée Chalamet. Insiders at Paramount insist that the film will cost less and no official budget has been set. Some long gestating productions, such as the Miles Teller sports drama Winter Games, have been put into turnaround, whilst there has also been a focus on reinvigorating certain franchises. The hope is to have a fresh Star Trek movie, though the studio has moved on from the idea of bringing back Chris Pine as Zachary Quinto and the rest of the ensemble from the J.J. Abrams reboot. Just done. I'm surprised they haven't cancelled the rest of it. Now, we'll know if this is a good thing if they fire Kurtzman, but we'll see. It's also working on sequels to Top Gun, because they did Top Gun Maverick, and Days of Thunder, with the film star Tom Cruise recently visiting the Paramount lot to congratulate the Skydance team on its takeover and to discuss a return to those franchises and other possible collaborations. Some of the films that Paramount is greenlighting, including a movie about a cowboy and his dog searching for his missing daughter that's been likened to a Western version of Taken, that sounds mad, were described as America-centric and geared towards the middle of the country. You see what they're sort of focusing on here? And this is what I mean by the status quo, right? The status quo is garbage. It's led to near Hollywood collapse. So they're like, well, let's appeal to actual Americans then. I'm not saying that, you know, people that aren't in middle America aren't American. But it's that sort of quintessential America. It's appealing to the American dream, the heyday, right? It's that sort of thing, isn't it? I mean, as an outsider, I'm game for that. That sounds great. I'll be interested in that. It sounds interesting. So not everything has gone smoothly. The Skydance team was shocked when Taylor Sheridan, the creator of many of the Paramount Plus's biggest franchises, such as Yellowstone and Tulsa King, defected for a lucrative deal at NBC Universal. Ellison had spent time cultivating Sheridan, flying down to Texas with Shell, Greenstein and Goldberg, where the new mogul suggested possible shows that could be additions to the Sheridan-verse. The overtures backfired, with Sheridan preferring a less corporate approach, although Sheridan, whose content plays big in Red State America and presumably would have fit in seamlessly with the new mentality, has 3 years remaining on his deal with Paramount. His exit leaves a big hole, and that'll be very, very interesting. And people have just said it's a huge loss for them. If you look at Paramount Plus, Sheridan is basically 90% of their programming. They're good programming. So there's that. But the take home, I think, right, is just that they're like, no, like we're done with basically woke Hollywood, right? They're pushing more America centric. I mean, if this doesn't tell you the kind of focus that they're doing, I don't know what does. A cowboy and his dog searching for his missing daughter. I mean, it's not... That sounds great. It just sounds like a, I don't know, 90s, 2000s movie? An 80s movie? A 70s movie? It just sounds like one of them. That sounds great. So there you go. It's over. It's over for Star Trek. That's what we'll call this video, I think. Some people have asked, why are your videos just like vague stuff now? They're not vague. They're taken from the video. And the thumbnail should tell you what it's about. But yes, YouTube has sort of shadow banned my channel. So that's the only way to get out of the algorithm that YouTube's put me in. It's really bizarre. Just is what it is. Apologies if you don't like it. Can't do much about it. Bye.